Good morning, 6:31. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Today in Iowa. And I'm Megan Reuther. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really kind of eerie driving through when we came in because much of the town is still without power, at least in this area. It's a very somber and quiet morning out here at the Iowa Veterans Cemetery. Meteorologist Amber Alexander joins us now. I hate to use the S word, but snow. It's kind of eerie because the power is out in that neighborhood. Also, those stoplights do not have power, which is the case at several intersections throughout the metro.
That's a tough one.
Can we do the Senate?
Yeah, that's a good set number.
I know the country's excited to see Des Moines featured.
And I hate to cut away, but I have to go up for hair and makeup.
Yeah, well, I thought you did that first. Well, see if you can fit me in. Okay. Thanks, Don.
So now you have to walk all the way
I
back
do
up.
too. We should do this more often.
Can I try your chair?
It's funny, I am sitting down.
This all adds up to giving a really good experience for kids, like they're not at the doctor's office. And we'll keep you up to date, WHOTV.com. That's where you'll find any weather-related closings or cancellations as well. Stay safe out there. Thank you for joining us this noon hour. I'm Megan Reuther. We begin today with breaking news just west of downtown and just a few blocks from our studio. Des Moines police, fire, and paramedics are on the scene right now of a serious accident at the intersection of MLK Parkway and Cottage Grove. It's just right off of I-235, that exit ramp there. A cement truck apparently plowed through a line of cars, then into a home. Sergeant Paul Parizek with the Des Moines Police is just about to give an update to reporters live from the scene. You can see here getting ready. I think reporters are starting to ask questions. Let's listen in.
It was right about 11:30 that our officers were called out here to investigate a report of a crash.
That's Sergeant Paul Parizek with the Des Moines Police Department, of course, on the scene there at Cottage Grove and MLK. This happened just about 11:30, so still really developing. You heard him say that police will be on the scene probably for at least 2 more hours, but he said avoid that area for the rest of the day if you can. Again, southbound lanes on MLK, just south of I-235, are closed for now, along with Cottage Grove. There's also no power in the area, so that's affecting traffic lights. Again, they are looking for the driver of that cement truck that plowed through at least one car over that fence and into that home at the corner of Cottage Grove and MLK. So police are looking for that driver. One person was sent to the hospital. Of course, we have Ben Oldak. You heard him asking questions there on the scene. He'll have a report coming up later on the Channel 13 News at noon. For now, let's get back to the other top national story. A country western bar north of Los Angeles is the scene of the nation's latest mass shooting. 13 dead, including the gunman and a sheriff's sergeant. NBC's Jennifer Bjorklund is in Thousand Oaks with the latest. Many families have not heard from their kids who were here and are anxiously waiting for their word on whether their loved ones are among those injured or the dead. One of the last remaining members for President Trump's original cabinet will no longer serve the president. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is out after the president demanded his resignation yesterday. President Trump has repeatedly criticized Sessions, starting with his decision to recuse himself from the Russia investigation. Sessions defended himself in his resignation letter, writing in part, "We have operated with integrity and have lawfully and aggressively advanced the policy agenda of this administration." Sessions' replacement is a familiar face to Iowans. Former University of Iowa football player Matt Whitaker is assuming the role as acting Attorney General. He is an Ankeny native who went to law school at the University of Iowa. He served as U.S. Attorney in Des Moines during the Bush administration and ran against Senator Joni Ernst for the Iowa Senate Republican nomination in 2014. He had previously served as Sessions' chief of staff. The president tweeted that a permanent replacement for Sessions will be nominated at a later date. The Federal Vacancies Reform Act allows him to serve 210 days before a replacement is approved. Whitaker's new position means he's now in charge of the Justice Department and Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Last year, Whitaker wrote an editorial for CNN criticizing the scope of the investigation. It reads in part, "It does not take a lawyer or even a former federal prosecutor like myself to conclude that investigating Donald Trump's finances or his family's finances falls completely outside of the realm of his 2016 campaign, and allegations that the campaign coordinated with the Russian government or anyone else." Let's go ahead and head on down to the Science Center of Iowa now to get a check of our forecast. I don't know, maybe we don't want to hear about it. Meteorologist Amber Alexander is there. It does include snow. Okay, we will stay tuned for that. Thanks so much, Amber, and your helpers at the Science Center. Metro crews are already getting ready for that snow. Des Moines pre-treated the roads yesterday. You probably noticed that when you were driving around. West Des Moines crews salted the roads this morning. Urbandale will be out today to check pavement temperatures to see if pre-treating is needed there. If you're headed to Drake's Knapp Center for the men's basketball season opener tonight, you'll be able to enjoy an adult beverage in the stadium for the first time. Drake University is the first school in Iowa to allow fans of legal age to purchase beer and then take it to their seats. Iowa State and the University of Iowa both sell beer to limited people with special tickets in a reserved section. There will be 2 sections of the arena where alcohol is prohibited, the student section and directly across the court in the family section. It's just one of several enhancements coming to the Knapp Center this year. Others include a renovated court, new lighting, and some new concessions. Stay with us for the Channel 13 News at noon. We will head back out to the scene of the breaking news at Cottage Grove and MLK. Plus, a Johnston student born with cerebral palsy is finding his voice with the help of technology, how he's using it to overcome barriers.
You're watching Channel 13 News at noon with Megan Reuther and meteorologist Amber Alexander. Channel 13 News, the local news leader.
And Megan, at last check, there was a curfew in downtown Marshalltown. What else can you tell us about recovery efforts there?
Yeah, and it was really quiet when we came into town. The only thing you can hear, I'll just stop talking for a minute. You can probably hear the sound of the generator. There's one here at one of the stores in the downtown area. Also, really kind of eerie driving through when we came in because much of the town is still without power, at least in this area. Although if you look behind me, this historic courthouse, the clock tower that you mentioned, is lit up really well. There are 2 Musco lighting units here, making this area, the town square, really bright this morning. Something else you might notice on top of the clock tower, there's a tarp, a blue tarp, of course, to protect from any rain. There was rain falling when we got to town this morning. In fact, some of the roads are still wet. Also, if you look at the clock, it has stopped at 4:40, so shortly after that storm came in. Meanwhile, so far all we've seen really through town are local reporters along with police and Alliant Energy crews. Here you can see downtown lots of tree branches still on the ground. It looks like they've gotten most of them cleared from the roads. Also a lot of bricks because of course these are historic buildings. Here's one just off the town square. You can see the piles of bricks, the top floor blown out. And then if you look down the street, I believe this is still Center Street. If you look down the street, how eerie that is because it's pitch black once the lighting from the Musco lighting fades out. I just spoke with Justin Foss from Alliant Energy. He tells me that crews, after the storm hit, 65 people with Alliant got here right away to start restoring power. At the height of the storm, 10,000 were without power. They have restored it to 3,000, so still 7,000 without power, and he said it could take some time for that to be restored. Also, he said crews were able to get the gas on the north side of town shut off, so that means 5,000 people on the north side of town are without gas, and he said that could take days. So of course a big concern as cleanup really gets underway here. He also wanted to stress that people are careful. There are still down power lines, so just avoid those at all costs. Also, he said a lot of tree branches that haven't fallen are ready to fall. So people in this area should avoid those, leave those alone, be careful. Right now you probably don't notice it, but a few minutes ago and when we got here, the winds were really strong. In fact, we could hear the tarp on top of the clock tower really whipping in the wind. Here it's picking up again. So any tree branches that were maybe damaged by the storm but didn't fall really stand a big chance of that.
Last day of second grade.
To say Lucy and Jake Sandine are proud of their daughter Elena
Elena was pure joy.
would be an understatement.
She was also the happiest baby and kid that we knew until she was 5 and she had stomach pain and we took her to the ER.
Doctors found a Wilms tumor in her kidney. She had 10 months of chemotherapy, radiation, and surgeries.
We celebrated remission. We enjoyed remission for a little while, and then we were devastated to find out that even though her kind of Wilms tumor we originally thought had a 94% success rate for survival, that we were in the unlucky group that had relapsed.
It was even harder to fight the cancer the second time around, but Team Elena found a distraction through fluttering.
Fluttering is a super fun way to raise awareness about pediatric cancer research and to fundraise for Unravel Pediatric Cancer.
Fluttering takes place every September during Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and it was something Elena looked forward to.
Off to the next house.
Here she is last year, sneaking onto someone's lawn to leave these dragonflies, a sign, and an envelope on the doorstep, asking the homeowner to donate to Unravel Pediatric Cancer. If they make a donation, they get to pick the next home to be fluttered.
They're helping us raise money to help scientists find the research to a cure. And someday there will be a cure.
She believed wholly with her whole heart that doctors and scientists were working around the clock, according to her, to find better treatment and a cure for childhood cancer. And she believed that it would happen in time for her.
Elena died August 22nd of this year. This month, her parents continue to flutter, going to a new house every day, carrying Elena's bear Buttercup in their arms and her memory in their hearts.
It can happen to anybody, and we truly need more funding for research. There are scientists and doctors that are waiting, that are ready with information, that want to do trials, and it's too late for Elena. But someone else's little soulmate could be saved.
Thank you one, thank you all.
All right, keep up the good work, everybody. We're doing great.
Bye.